We have seen a ton of animes where the perfect romance plays out. Most of the time, it is a hot male character finding himself getting together with the school's popular female character, and vice versa. And there simply is no place for other guys to barge in and have a chance. But there have been some titles where the shy and rather unknown individual gets the girl and steals the show along with her. Welcome to Anime Ikigai. Join us today as we look into the top 10 anime where the underdog gets the girl. Number 10. Campione. We have our 16-year-old protagonist, Kusanagi Godo, finds himself a victor in a fight against none other than the god of war. As a result of his surprising victory, regardless of how he won, the higher gods changed the life of Godo forever. Godo is now given the title of Campione, aka a god slayer, meaning he is to fight any sorts of stray or heretical deities that come in the way of local life. As a human, Godo finds himself struggling to live up to his position, but quickly realizes that his status is not that bad when he comes to know that along with the title of Campione comes numerous female worshippers who are willing to worship him in many ways than mere prayers.
あら、ゴドは女に甘えられる方の方が好みなのではなくて、今朝だって無垢な赤子のように甘える私をあんなにも可愛がってくれたじゃない。
Number 9. Clannad. It feels like a crime by listing wholesome anime like Clannad on this list, but it does not change the fact that the anime itself labeled the protagonist as a delinquent, and Okazaki Tomoya was a delinquent to a certain degree. Tomoya's character was a strange one. For a person who felt like his life had very little meaning, he cared a lot about the things that would interest him. As a result, Nagisa's effort to revive the lost club made her something that Tomoya thought was worth living for. Despite his reputation inside the school and his rather messy private life, Nagisa accepts Tomoya for who he was and not what circumstances made him. Hence, Tomoya was one of the pioneer underdogs to get the girl, and he did it beautifully.
私も智也くんと海が見たかったです。
じゃあ、約束しよう。約束してくれるよな、渚。
Number 8! Axel World. This is a very interesting title as it is very close to real life, but at the same time, it seems distant too. Axel World follows the story of Haruyuki Arita, a middle schooler who lives a pretty sad life as he is overweight and is constantly bullied in school for it. To comfort himself, Arita plays online video games to let his frustrations out, but one day, he finds all of his high scores beaten. Arita is even more surprised when he finds out that the top scorer is none other than Kurayuki Hime, the vice president of the student council. Not long after that, Kurayuki Hime seeks out the help of Arita so that she can beat the video game Brain Burst. This sets out as the platform for the interaction between the two and Arita's chance at making a genuine friend and maybe finding romance in his life.
I don't think you realize just how much I owe you.
Number 7. Horimiya. Yes, we know, but Miyamura is so hot. First off, I agree that Miyamura may be good looking, but that is subjective and it does not change the fact that Miyamura is a legit underdog when it comes to the ways of romance and popularity. Most of the students in the class prefer to keep their distance from Miyamura because they have judged him to be a weirdo, simply because the man is a tad introverted and keeps to himself quite a lot. This does not stop Miyamura from striking the home run when he befriends the most popular girl in class, Hori. As the story progresses, Miyamura and Hori grow closer to each other, with Hori realizing that Miyamura is nothing like the class has painted him to be, setting the stage for a genuinely fun romance story.
サダさん何？
不良。好きなんですか？すぐにはちょっと出てこないけど。
すぐには出てこないの？
Number 6. Ah, my goddess. There is no depth when it comes to the plot of this particular title because the anime itself is intended to be fun and lighthearted rather than something that carries other values or lessons. While it isn't uncommon to see animes like this with a generic story and just a fun ride, Ah, my goddess still debunks a lot of stereotypes and stands out quite well. The story is based on Keiichi Morisato, a young male who lives in a world where humans can have their wish granted by a helpline, and not just any helpline, a goddess helpline. When Morisato accidentally summons the goddess Bildandi, he is petrified by her beauty and jokingly says that they should be together forever. But little did Morisato know, his joke was taken as a wish and granted to him, giving him a chance at a new life with a beautiful goddess.
I never really thought about it, but I really do have this incredible goddess, Bildandi, all to myself.
Number 5. My Bride Is A Mermaid. We have talked about My Bride Is A Mermaid in our previous list, and that is because this anime is so fun and versatile in so many ways. My Bride Is A Mermaid focuses on a lot of different tropes of anime and infuses those elements to create a dynamic between the characters that feels weirdly original. Nagasumi Michishio, the protagonist of the series, is not just an underdog, but he is an underdog who isn't really confident about himself and can be pushed around or intimidated quite easily. And when a character like this is saved by a mermaid, only to find out she belongs to a Yakuza family, ready to slay him because of the whole saving incident, Nagasumi finds himself tied to a marital relationship with the mermaid that saved his life.
You okay?
I'm so sorry, are you okay?
Number 4. Amagami SS. This anime right here is an underrated gem that isn't talked about enough. Amagami SS might be generic in terms of the plot as it deals with a protagonist surrounded by a bunch of ladies who are in some ways romantically interested with him, but the dynamic between these characters is really what sets it apart. Amagami SS follows the story of Junichi Tachibana, a guy who got stood up on a Christmas date. Because of that unfortunate ordeal he had to face, Junichi became scared of relationships and started to distance himself from other women with the fear of being rejected yet again. But Junichi starts to believe that his luck has not run out yet when he meets new girls who show him promise that his chance at romance is not dead yet.
あの角を曲がったら角を曲がったら
純一、実は私、あんたのこと。
Number 3. Rent a Girlfriend. Rent a Girlfriend would have probably topped this list if it was a bit older and had a larger recognition than the titles that are already here. Nonetheless, this anime is completely based on the idea that the underdog guy gets the girl. I mean, that is the very concept of the plot, and it is good if I say so myself. Kazuya is right now the leader of weak and lame MCs in anime, and there have not been any moments where the writers have chosen to not thrash on him as a lame person. But it is surprising to see how he is buying his way into a relationship, and he is doing so with 3 different girls. Even if his current engagements with the female characters are not actual relationships, it is being hinted that he is about to end up with one of them, and when it happens, it will be a big underdog win. Number 2. Heaven's Lost Property. This anime is as weird as it gets when it comes to the unpopular guys taking all the girls, and the protagonist of this one, regardless of how lame he is taking all the girls, and seeing him do that is quite hilarious. Long story short, the protagonist Tomoki has some angelic voodoo that makes his friends worry. As a result, they research the mystery of the sky, but all is changed when a girl falls down from the heaven and starts addressing Tomoki as master.
茶柱です。朝から縁起がいいんです。ソハラ。
And finally, number 1. High School DXD. The anime that made the whole lame MC trope mainstream is one of the pioneers of the trope. When High School DXD first aired, fans were irate about Issei's character, but he proved to be more than just a perv. Unlike other titles on this list, this anime gives Issei most of the girls at the very start and focuses on how his interactions develop with each of these characters and how he grows from being an underlooked, low-ranking demon to one of the most well-respected names in all of hell.
In honor of our first date, there's something I'd like you to do.
Sure.
You can ask me for anything at all.
Would you die for me?
Couldn't you have let me squeeze your jiggly jugs first?
And that was the collection of underdog characters getting the job done. If you think we missed any title that deserves a spot on this list, then you know where to go. This is Anime Ikigai, and we will see you in the next video.